And I'll get started with the live video today here in Las Vegas. And this is my first time making a live video on YouTube, so I'm just trying to figure things out here. But if you notice, there's a chat button on the bottom of your phone, or you live streaming on the laptop. There's a right side section where there's a live chat. You can ask me questions at any time. I'll see them and I'll answer your questions. And there also, YouTube has some new features where you can send super likes and super stickers, and those will help me donate to Greenmangoes, and I could purchase more plants, especially tropical plants or any plants that you request, and I'll learn how to grow them, and I'll share my experience in this channel. So if you can, please help me and donate and support us by giving us super stickers, super like. So for now, today, this is Saturday, May 7th, here in Las Vegas, and I spent the last 4 years here in this yard, 4 or 5 years around there, to grow and learn a lot of trees, a lot of plants, and it's a very challenging climate that I have to deal with. But over the years, I've learned so much, and some of the requirements for each of the trees that I grow here in this yard, in order to help it survive and thrive in this very dry and hot climate. So for this live video, I want it to be a little bit more interactive. So I want to try out these features of YouTube, and hopefully, as I'm talking here, more people will join. More likely, I don't know how to reach the notification, or I don't know how to distribute it to all the subscribers, but hopefully once a week or so, when I get this video going and do a live streaming, my subscribers and people who support my channel will be able to notice kind of a pattern when I'm going live, so that way I can get more live chat session and talk to you guys, and we can learn and exchange from each other. But without any further ado, today my yard is not quite complete yet. It's a work in progress, but I'm very excited to show you live that I can talk to each one of the trees. If I go through the yard and you see any trees that you want me to stop and ask questions about it, make sure you put it on the chat, and I'll answer any question that you may have. But I'll flip the camera around, and I'll go through the yard section by section. There are some area where wind are blowing all over the places, so don't mind the mess, but I try my best to keep the yard clean. But you know, it's an ongoing progress, and I continue to make sure that I bring in new plants. I try to grow new plants and learn about them, while updating, rotating trees around the yard, figuring out, you know, which area this tree, you know, thrive and do better than the other area. But I see a few of you joining me, so if you are, please put on a chat, say hi, so I know that you are listening. If my audio is not doing good, if you can't hear me, let me know. A little bit of disclaimer: today is very windy, so the audio might be a little bit bad. So I'll flip the camera around. Let's see how I do this. Okay, and I'll start off by showing you overall of the yard that I have here. And I have over 50 fruit trees. Some of them are mature, a couple of years old. Some of them are, you know, newly purchased here this year. And so I can pan around the yard so you can see overall. And this is a section where I do enjoy a lot some of my bonsai. And I do love desert rose. And there sometimes can be very tough to take care of depending on the climate, but I do learn quite a bit in the past few years. So this is one section of my garden, and this we're facing the east right now. So this area is an area where all the tropical tree loves. It gets the morning sun and the afternoon shade. So I'll pan around and I'll go around to the other side of the yard. My yard is like an L shape. And before I do that, I want to show off my Palo Verde tree. This tree is about 30 feet tall and is in full bloom right now. It's kind of a mess, but it's so gorgeous. And for reference, this pomegranate tree is about 12 to 15 feet tall, but it looks like a tiny baby in comparison to this Palo Verde tree. And look at the flowers that I drop on the ground. So if I go closer here, you can see how beautiful and gorgeous these trees are, these flowers are. And this side of the yard is more of a mess. I'm still working on this side. Hopefully maybe I can put a pool in, get some more humidity for trees. But it's a little bit more empty. This is on the west side, which means that I get the afternoon sun, a little bit more brutal. The sun is very intense, so any trees that are tropical will not be able to thrive and survive in this area. And for the reason is that they can take the heat, but the sun is too intense that it start burning the leaves and it start taking moisture out of the leaves. And without humidity, a lack of humidity here in Las Vegas, and the intense suns, it really is hard on the plants, and it just put a lot of stress on them. So this is the two pomegranate trees that have the varieties are called wonderful, and the fruits they get as big as a bowl. They're huge. They get very amazing, and almost little to no maintenance at all. And you can see the fruits already set on my pomegranates. I do have a video on pomegranates and complete guide how to grow from A to Z, from soil to sunlight, fertilizer. So if you have a chance, subscribe to my channel and check out that video where I did talk about pomegranates. And these two trees, they get pretty big now. They produce a lot of pomegranate for me every year, and you can see the bees. So. Okay. Enough with the pomegranates. I'll walk over to this side. One more thing, as you can notice, the soil here in the desert is not quite something you'll be used to looking at. Maybe in your area, your climate, because a lot of rocks, a lot of pebbles, and we don't have the luxury of the better soil that you guys might have. This one is a navel orange, and this navel orange requires a lot of humidity, and I still struggle with it. There's some fruits that set on the tree, but being over here getting neglected a little bit. I've add iron and zinc, sulfur, and magnesium in order to, as you can see, the new leaves are turning greens, but the previous leaves are yellow because of lack of iron. But I'm doing my best to make sure that this one thrives. This is one of the first orange tropical tree I planted here, and didn't realize that this side of the yard is not really a great area for this orange. And it's about 4 feet now. Trunks get pretty large. I did put a tray with water underneath, so help it with a little bit of a humidity that that can provide to the tree. And let me turn around here. This is a pluot, family's favorite tree, and the fruits is it's wonderful. I mean, it tastes crunchy and delicious. It doesn't turn yellow, slightly yellow. It turns it still stay green, but the inside is purplish red and super juicy, super delicious. And it tastes in the middle of a pluot, a plum, and an apricot. So it's really delicious. This is a lot of scrap wood that I'm doing construction with. This is a cactus tree that I don't do much to it. Hopefully it'll flower for me sometime. And I do have plan for the yard in the area where I make a desert cactus kind of setting for them to live in. So this year I've had much time but to grow herbs, but these are my mints and chives, taros, bacabi monterey. This is a pile of compost and soil that got dropped from Vero Grow here locally in Las Vegas. I try my best to use locally made compost and soil. That way it's really made for this tree that I have here. And this is my fig tree. This fig is white, and it's a honey fig where when it's ripe in June or so, if I break this in half, syrup like honey will be dripping down and super delicious and super juicy. Next to the fig tree, I have an apple tree. And this apple tree I inherited from the previous owner. I have no clue what the variety is. Last year it was overproductive, but this year I think it's taking a rest and not producing as much. And also a lot of 35 miles, 45 miles wind drop all the flowers and fruit. But this apple gets really large. It doesn't turn into other colors. Stay green, but it's not sour. It's very sweet and crunchy. The previous owner told me that this is a variety that brought over from Korea. And but I still don't know the name of it. We still enjoy it every year. Just last week, my kids and wife helped me with planting tomatoes in 15-gallon container here. You notice around my yard, there's a lot of container growing for two reasons. One, I don't have a lot of space. Number two, they're very easy for me to move around. So as I learn how to grow them and find the best spot for them in the yard. Behind these tomatoes, I have a tangerine tree. And this tangerine last year gave me about 10 fruits or so, nothing too much. I grew this when it was about, 1 or 2 feet tall that I bought from Lowe's for $5-7 or so, and it gotten this big for the last 4 years. It died back quite a bit because of some infestation, as you see here. But it's still surviving, still giving me some fruit, not as much as I expected. And behind me here, I have a passion fruit vine. And growing passion fruit here is interesting because I grew it on the other side and it died, but this one last year for 2 years already. And I found out that one of the vine, which got matured pretty well, it's just a vine, it doesn't produce fruit. And the other vine I have here, which do produce fruit. And let me see if I can see some fruit around here. Ooh. There's a passion fruit for you right there. One. This is a purple variety, so passion fruit. And more passion fruit here. Maybe in a month or so they get really big and juicy, and I'll make a video and show you the taste profile of this passion fruit. But they do climb up quite a bit. The wind knocked off a lot of the leaves, but they do grow very fast, a couple of feet a month. So they can climb up this here by the end of the season and give me a lot of fruits. This is a black missing fig. This is still in container. Give me some fruits here. Moving on to over here, I have this is a Utah sweet pomegranate. And what a Utah sweet pomegranate is, it might turn a slightly pink, but it doesn't change in color. Very sweet, a lot sweeter than the wonderful pomegranate, and it's like honey sweet. And you see the bees are pollinating my flowers here. And I do like this pomegranate, but it doesn't have that layer and intense taste like the wonderful pomegranate. The wonderful has a hint of tart, but the Utah sweet is like sugarcane sweet, and it doesn't. But it doesn't have that much flavor in terms of pomegranate versus the wonderful. As you can see on the side there, there's a lot of flowers and fruit. This tree is huge. We have to step up the ladder in order to harvest the fruit here. And my wife loves calla lily, and I've been growing this for 2 years here. It gave me flowers. If you follow me on Instagram, I do post pictures of the calla lily. And but the reason why it's under the pomegranate because it doesn't like to be in the cold weather. It doesn't like a lot of sun, and being protected down here do give me some nice flower and continue to grow. I grow here sugarcane. I'm not sure how well we do here, but so far they have shoots for me. The first time trying sugarcane, so wish me luck. If I can make sugarcane juice, I can share them with you, perhaps. And this is a Katy apricot. Let me go closer so you can see the fruit here. Katy apricot is probably one of the sweetest, most delicious variety of apricot that I've ever eaten. And you don't find this in the grocery store because they're very soft and mushy when it ripe off the trees, and it tastes really delicious. But I don't think they can store this. They can stock this in the store because they probably won't stay very fresh very long. My family do eat this off the tree when they're ripe, and we just pick them off. So let me go back a little bit. This is a raised bed garden that I built last year, and I was growing a lot of vegetables last year, but this year I haven't had a chance to do that. So my goal is to plant 2 guava trees and the mango trees on this raised bed. And you can see here is the nectarine that I bought last year, the white nectarine, and it's growing very good. By the end of the season or so, I will plant this in ground in the front yard. The beautiful flowers that give me blossom in the springs is very gorgeous and looks amazing. So my goal is to plant this in the front yard. And I have a southern, I think it's a southern magnolia. And you can see that some of the buds are start coming out. I've added some iron to see if it can help. And of course, this is my desert rose. It's still in training. A lot of them are starting to flowers and buds. I have a lot of variety of desert rose. I did make a mistake back in February. I left it out and it was like about 20 degrees, and it damaged a lot of my desert rose and had to cut them back. And this is a shelf that I made, Japanese style, for my bonsai. This is the white desert rose. Eventually I will chop off right here and let ramification happens here so you get more branches. As you can see, more of a style of this one, where I'm training them, defoliating them, and this is a super long legs, sexy baby. I'm excited to see this one flower. I don't know what the flower looks like, but if I look very close, it started budding already. This is my calamansi or calamandan. They are a heavy producer, type of a kumquat, but very sour. You don't eat it like as a whole. They taste more like a lime and used more in cooking rather than in lemonade. Not lemonade, kumquat. Then here I have a Nagami kumquat, and this one is delicious. The rind tastes very sweet. I do have a balcony. It's about 36 feet long and 10 feet wide. I haven't done much to it yet since I have to go inside the house, go upstairs and get into the balcony. Perhaps one of these days I'll add a stair here and I can get easy access to the balcony and I can grow more up there. But going back to the side, one more thing that I want to tell you guys that I had pavers over on this yard, on this side of the yard. The reason is because I do love plants, but my kids do go out here and enjoy spending the time out here. So I do want, you know, a little bit more of a clean and organized area for them to run around and have fun. So pavers do make sense, and I do add a lot of trees on the pot, so it's a good match. Here's my white tropic guava. This variety probably came from Mexico or South America. It's not as large. It's not very big, but the taste profile is super delicious. Very fragrant, very delicious. And this is Kamedo. I think it's called Kamedo or star apple. And it's very tropical, and this tree is one of the pickiest trees that to grow here. It requires so much humidity. I have to mist this tree every 3 days or so in order to provide that level of humidity. And the soil, they don't like to be wet, they like to be dry. So and the fact that I can't keep this soil wet or moist, but yet it requires a lot of humidity. So it does take a lot of work to be able to keep this grow and thrive here. But I haven't had any fruit from this one yet. Hopefully this year. Yes, you guys are visiting us in May, too, and then please join us here, and I'll show you around the yard. Thank you for watching. Above here is the grapevine, and there's two varieties. The first variety that is on this vine is, you know, the regular table grapes, and then the second variety, which is my favorite here, is the Concord. So the Concord is very delicious. It's smaller, but the taste profile is a lot better than the regular table grapes. So you can see this leaves here is different than this leaves here. So I have two vines, and if I show you the trunk here, let me see here. It's huge, about 2 or 3 inches trunk going up. So this grapevine is about 5 years old. And I've made the trellis, I say about 16 feet long. This is Taiwanese guava, and the Taiwanese pearl. And the fruit do get very large. And let me show you some of the fruit already set on the guava. That's the flower. And some of the flowers and the fruit already set on here. And I don't know if you guys know, but there's fruit from Southeast Asia called loquat. And loquat is... thank you for the super chat. And the loquat tastes almost like an apricot and a mango. And mango, I haven't had the fruit on the trees yet. I had it elsewhere, but I bought it before, but our tree haven't produced any loquat yet. And obviously, I have to try avocado. This is one of the new additions to the family. And so hopefully this will do well. I usually don't stake my tree like this, because it's done its growth. So it's new to the yard, so I haven't done anything to it. I haven't repot or anything yet. But eventually I will have to chop this off here. This tree is too thin and too tall. It won't be able to sustain the wind here in Las Vegas, so I have to chop it off and make sure that the growth do stay on the trunk here. And next to this avocado is a cherimoya, my favorite here, one of my favorites. And cherimoya, you can see here, let's see here, but you can see the flowers starting to bud here. Cherimoya, mangkao. So this year, hopefully, this is a big tree already. So I hope this year will give me some fruit. And I have some citrus tree and a sugar apple, mangona. This should be flowering this year as well. And then this one, I don't think a lot of people know, but those from Asia would be able to know. This is wax jambu, which is cây măng in Vietnamese. Wax jambu, very delicious. You don't find this a lot here in the States, but so that's the reason why I want to grow it and see if I can get fruits out of it. It's a red variety măng, so let's see if this flower will turn into fruits for me this year. And next to this one, this longan, I do want to grow, put it in the ground next year because it's starting to grow quite fast. So I don't think it will sustain in the pot. And it can sustain some of the cold, about 20-25 degrees with some protection. But look at this longan, cây nhãn. The fruit's already set for me. So I'm very excited to try the fruits, homegrown longan on my yard on YouTube with everyone. So a lot of pinnacles already on the tree and setting fruits. And of course, here's another type of longan. This is Kohala. Kohala longan is easier to grow, I think, but it's still newer. This is in a 25-gallon container. And it's not as large as the other Vietnamese longan. Next to the longan, I have rose apple. Rose apple is cây lý in Vietnamese. Rose apple taste profile almost the same like the wax jambu, but it's not as fluffy and soft. It's more crunchy. But you do need to wait until it ripes. So let me back up a little bit here. And on the other side, I have two other type of kumquat. I think this is called a fukushi. I have to look it up. The kumquat gets very large. It's produced a lot of kumquat during the Vietnamese Chinese New Year, and we ate a lot of them. This type of kumquat, the rind is very sweet, and inside it tastes like an orange. So you would eat the whole thing in your mouth, and it tastes like just like candy. Over here, this is a Maywa kumquat, and one of the slowest variety of kumquat in terms of growth, because I've had this for 5-6 years, and this is how much it grows. It doesn't grow very much at all, but the fruit is the best tasting kumquat in the world. Maywa means sweet, and it's really sweet. It tastes like an orange, but you can eat the rind, the skin, you eat everything. And one of my favorite kumquat here, and I do everything in my power to make sure that this stay alive. So now this is another apricot tree. It's a huge one. I do have to prune every year to make sure that it stays short, so we can reach with a ladder, because it gets very, very tall. And a lot of birds just eat the fruits away, and we don't have any. But if I go closer, this is the apricot right here. So I'm very fortunate that I don't have to buy these fruits from the grocery store. We can just pick them off right on the tree and eat them. I don't know who's watching, so if you can, please, say hi, tell me who you are, and don't hesitate to ask questions. Back here, this is a risk I'm willing to take here, but I bought a Vietnamese guava tree, and this is a variety that get very big. I bought this very expensive tree, very tiny one, but it costs over $200 just to buy this one because it's rare. And the fruit is very delicious, and they might be not as bad to grow here in Las Vegas, but I'll give it a try. Fortunately, I already have some fruit set already. one or two, and right here. The Vietnamese guava gets very crunchy. They get huge, delicious. My parents love them. My wife, my kids don't eat guava. Unfortunately, I do love them as well. um, as you can see, I do have a lot of guava in this yard. This is red Malaysian guava. I had this for 3 years already, and every year I do have fruits of this tree, and inside it's like purple. Um, they don't get very big, about maybe 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter, but the taste profile is so delicious. It's a little bit more soft than the Vietnamese and the Taiwanese guava, but look at the fruits already on this. It's really delicious guava. I mean, I don't know if you can find this anywhere in the nursery, but over the years, I've collected a lot of different varieties of guava. And this is my June plum. June plum Vietnamese is cái cóc Thái. And this variety of cup is they're very small, they don't grow as vigorous as the Vietnamese type of June plum. And this June plum, the seeds are very small and it tastes sweeter than the Vietnamese type. And last year I did something a little bit interesting to this June plum. It was very big, but then I want to try how hardy it gets with the winter. So I let it out when it was hitting 40 degrees, and it struck it and stressed it. Leaves or curling up immediately. So this tree will not be able to survive anything under 40 degrees at all. Make sure if you grow this, live in a climate where like zone 10 or so. If otherwise, put it in container and bring them indoor in the greenhouse in the winter or so. This is my dragon fruit. This dragon fruit is in 25-gallon container. I have 4 different varieties in this trellis, and been trying to let this grow very tall. This is about 5 feet tall, and then it's now drooping over the trellis here. It could flowers anytime now, so please stay tuned in my channel, and hopefully I can share some of the hand pollination process of the dragon fruit and turn into fruit as well. So let me back up a little bit so you can see more. This side of the yard is very green. And one of the things that is very important grown here in the dry desert is to build this microclimate where it shares a lot of moisture together. It protected each other. Otherwise, if you have a tree here and a tree there 20 feet from each other, they'll dry up and they die very quick. So this is my 5th guava here in the yard. This is the pink tropic variety, and this one gets really big already. The pink tropic is very delicious. Not very big, but very fragrant, very delicious. I do have 2 more avocados still. 1 more, 2 more. One of my goals is to grow different varieties so that way they can pollinate each other as well. Another of my calamandan, or another name would be calamansi. We use this a lot. And Nagami kumquat. I just bought this banana tree, Greenmangoes banana, and I have a friend. His name is Hung in Lincoln, and he's keep talking about the banana tree, and I said I have to have one in my yard. So went out and bought one. The wind knocked it off. I'm trying to stabilize it a little bit, but this is a semi-dwarf version, so they probably get about 6 feet to 8 feet tall and produce banana, but they don't go crazy like the other variety. And over here I have this is called the Kishu Mandarin. Kishu Mandarin is new to me. The first time I heard it last year, I bought it when it was the baby. And look at this. I think this came from Japan. and it's supposed to be very sweet, but we see. I never ate it before, so we see. And behind that cashew is a coffee tree, coffee arabica. Yes, well, we talk about fertilizing, and he talk about his banana babies. So I gotta have a banana. So when you talk about trees and banana trees or anything, I make sure I go out and get one of those as well. It's addicting. Coffee tree. It's been getting attacked by a powdery mildew, and been solving it with a copper fungicide. So hopefully this will survive again. But it hasn't produced coffee bean for me yet. It's been treated as a house plant, but then I'll bring it out here so see if it can produce some beans for me. This is my mango. Um, this mango, I will move it to a different location later, but I bring it in here because of the wind here recently. Uh, the amount of flowers on this mango is ridiculous for the size. It's about maybe 6 feet tall, but I can zoom in somewhat closer so you see some of the fruits here. It's a Thai mango, elongate shape, and I have some fruits here on the tree already, and fiberless. I did have a video with my daughter trying out this Nam Dok Mai mango, and it has to be the best mango I've ever eaten in my life. So if you see, this type of mango in Asian grocery store, give it a try. They might be very expensive, $9 a pound or $10 a pound or so. So that's my mango tree with a lot of flowers and fruit already starting to set. Next to this mango, I have carambola. Carambola Vietnamese is KK, K ngọt. I brought this home about 3 months ago. While it was shipping, it was cold and stressed, and it died back. But now look at it; it grows very well now. Green leaves. Hopefully I can keep this about 6 to 7 feet tall here in the yard and eat some K out of this. And over here I have more loquat and mangoes. Alongside this wall here, I have globe red grapes. So these are the grapes that are already set on the vine. There's millions of them. It's wonderful to go out here in the morning and evening to hear the birds, and very small yet still, but when they do get big, they're very sweet. Behind me I have a wisteria vine. I'm trying to train it to climb up the balcony here. And they smells amazing in the spring when they bloom for me. I do want to go out here every morning and just to smell the wisteria. Here's another loquat. So I do have 3 loquat trees. I will be unfortunately I haven't had many success with loquat yet. It did have some fruits on here, but the wind knocked them all off, and I'm very sad about it. This is another raised bed that I built as well. And here I have a lemon tree. This is a lemon tree, a Mayor lemon. And you can see some fruits already on this Mayor lemon. Some berries I'm trying to start here. I try to buy everything I see and figure out if I can grow them here. Some of them are successful, some of them are not. But it's worth the journey. It's very therapeutic. I have here Fuyu persimmon, cây hồng. And this was planted here from the previous owner and it died. It grew back, but I'm not sure it's from the rootstock or it's from the graft. If it's from a rootstock, then the variety might not be something I expected. But if it's from the graft, then yeah, it's still Fuyu persimmon. But you can see some of the fruits there already. Behind this is a lime tree. Let me walk around here. This lime tree produces a lot of limes for me every year. The wind obviously knocked a lot of the lime of this tree, but I still have some of them, and they do bloom throughout the years for me to have limes to cook with. And this is one of the second largest tree I have in the yard here. This is a Santa Rosa plum, and this is very tall tree. I have to get on the ladder every year and cut them back because they grow so fast and so big. But let me walk closer so you can see some of the fruits here. They're like in bunches and abundant. Please, if you come to Vegas, visit me. Help me pick some of this because they just fall on the ground. So I did want to dehydrate them and keep them, but I never had the time. So they just I'm just sharing them with the birds, and they just fell off the ground. But it grows on the branches, go everywhere. Obviously, there's a rose back there. You see how this plum just grow from the behind me, under here. These are some of the baby trees. You can see some of the citrus, tangerine, mandarin. One of the things that I don't like here is scorpions. They live under this rock. So last time when we hire people to renovate our yard, and they scoop some of this rock down, and in one shovel they can see like 10 scorpions, and sometimes they crawl inside the house. I mean, it was frightening at the beginning, but we kind of getting used to it. That's the blueberry. So I try, this is the bird paradise right here. It gets, on the cover page. This is, oh, there's a lizard. Here's my friend. Those lizards are my friends. They eat the bugs away from my garden. So I see them all over the place. They get very big at the end of the season, very chubby. Like my friend Quinn would say, Long's chubby. I only let that slide because he's my best friend growing up. But I might miss some plants, but I try my best to go around the yard. The front yard is not done yet. I have to take care of this one first, but I will. My goal is to make a Japanese Zen garden in the front yard, maybe in a couple of years or so. But this is the back of my house with all these green trees. So I do live in the desert, believe me, I do live. It's just I spend a lot of time on the backyard trying to make them green, so that way it's not as dry. Fortunately, we live on the south side of the city, in Mountain's Edge, so our temperature is not as cold as the Central Valley, and the climate is a little bit better here than Spring Valley. More trees back down here. This is a fire pit that we make s'mores and grill every week or so. I'll end the video with my Palo Verde tree here, and thank you for watching. I know this is our first live video, so a lot of you don't know it yet, but this will be uploaded and posted on YouTube. So if you watch this, I will try to schedule the live events in advance, so that way you can join me. And thank you for watching today, and hope you have a wonderful day, and hopefully this video will inspire you somewhat to grow some plants, save the planet and grow some plants, and if you can, grow some passion fruit. Look how delicious that is. Where? There you go. Passion fruit. Let's end with that. Okay, that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye. See you in a week, Trúc. Hopefully, we can hang out together. Come to my house and we can grill together or something. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Let me see how do I end this okay.